Today I'm going to talk to you about classical mat Pilates. There are 34 exercises that Joseph Pilates wrote back in 1948, I believe. Many of them are very tricky, and we're going to not do 5 of them because they might be unsafe if you're exercising at home and you're new to Pilates. But let's get started with number 1, the 100. This is a vigorous exercise meant to get the blood flowing and oxygen to all parts of your body and get you all warmed up for the exercises to follow. You are going to take one leg up and then the second one up into tabletop if this is comfortable. Really feel the corseting action of your abdominal muscles to keep those legs up in the air, and pull your navel into spine. Arms come up. You're going to curl forward in a C, reaching for the end of your mat, and start breathing in as you bat your hands and out. You're going to breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5 and out 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is easy, you can extend your legs. Breathing out 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just going to do 10 more breaths here. Breathing in and out 4, 5. And we're going to bend legs. Come back in, feeling a little bit warmed up. Let's go into the next exercise. The next exercise is the roll up. So you are going to stretch your legs out. Lengthening is one of the Pilates principles. You can start with your arms at the other end stretched out. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. You're going to nod your chin and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Feel this grounded. It's locked in cement. It's not moving. Inhale to come up. You're going to exhale and roll down again. One vertebrae at a time. So lower back coming down, then mid back. And then arms can come up as you inhale. Exhale. Let's do this 2 more times. Slowly rolling up. If this is difficult, you can bend the legs. You can grab behind the knees. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale one last time. Exhaling as you roll up. Centering all the effort coming from here. Inhale and roll back down. The next exercise is called the roll over. This is one of the trickier ones, but we will try this exercise. The way it works is you're meant to lift both legs at the same time, up and over, okay, with open legs. But let's be safe here. Let's start with our legs bent, okay? We're going to lift our bent legs up, and because we don't want to put undue pressure on the neck, on the shoulders if you have neck issues, let's take the important part of this exercise, which is developing strength in the deep abdominals. You're going to straighten your legs as much as you can, pressing with your hands, relaxed up here, and just lifting up the buttocks. Try to lift up. See if you can do this 10 times. So try not to go this way. Try to lift straight up. It looks easy, but it's not easy. Okay, there's the first 3 exercises. From here, we move to a little bit of a different exercise, and that's going to involve some rotation. So you're going to anchor your left leg and take your right leg up to the ceiling. If you're tight in the hamstrings, your leg might look like this. Try to make your leg as straight as you can and trace a circle on the ceiling with your toes. The trick here is to be grounded, to be secured to the mat using your muscles, okay? So try not to waggle. Make a smaller circle if it's tricky. 6 times, and then 6 times in the opposite direction. Continuing to breathe, concentrate as you draw a circle, not a square, and 6. We'll put that leg down, securing things here, keeping the abdominal muscles strong as you stretch the leg out of the hip socket, nice lengthening happening, drawing that circle, focusing on the movement of the leg and the abdominal muscles, which are strong, which are guiding it in its motion. 6 in one direction, 6 in the other. Breathing. And that's 6. We put that leg down. The next exercise is rolling like a ball. This one is fun. This one requires a lot of concentration, which is another Pilates principle. You are going to round as much as you can, and you're going to roll back just to here, and then you're going to roll up again, okay? And try to come back to sitting. So you can grab your legs. Try to hold your thighs as close to your body as possible, okay? Try not to go like this during the roll, okay? So feel your lower back curving as you come up and forward, okay? Try to make your back articulate, rounded as much as possible. A lot of us, like me, have a flat spot here, so that makes it tricky. We're gonna do this 5 times. It should be a nice massage for the spine. Don't go back further than this far. We're not going back onto the neck. Okay, that's rolling like a ball. Now we have 2 exercises where we start on our back again. It's one leg stretch, single leg stretch, and double leg stretch. You can start off in this position, same as rolling like a ball. You're going to bring your head, neck, and chest up off the mat, so shoulder blades are above the mat here. Extend one leg and squeeze the other. And switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. Keep breathing, squeezing the leg that comes towards you, extending the leg that is pointing away from your body. 2 more times here. You can put your head down for a second. We're going to go into double leg stretch, okay? So we start off the same way. Head, neck, and shoulders come up, really trying to curl forward towards the opposite end of the mat. You hug your knees, and then on a breath in, extending arms and legs in opposite direction, exhaling them back together. Extending, and then centering. Breathe in, breathe out. If this is difficult, you can just extend to here. It takes a lot of abdominal muscles to straighten those legs out at a 45-degree angle. Let's do one last one. Resting the head, neck, and shoulders down. Next, we're going to sit up for the next 4 exercises. This one is called spine stretch forward. So you're reaching forward while your back is stretching in the opposite direction. You can absolutely sit on a cushion, for example, if you can't sit up tall while your legs are straight out in front of you. You can also bend your legs a little bit if that helps. Okay, we are sitting up tall on an inhale. On an exhale, we are reaching and rounding. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, reach and round. Inhale, sit up tall. Try not to collapse through the shoulders. Keep the shoulders broad and away from the ears as you reach forward. Lots and lots of rounding in classical Pilates. One more time. Personally, I think we need to balance that with a lot of back extension as well, but that doesn't come till the next set of exercises. Okay, from here we also have a challenging exercise which involves rolling and pressure on the shoulder girdle. It's called open leg rocker. So the way it's supposed to look is you grab your legs and you roll back and forward, okay? If you think that's too challenging, then let's break it down a little bit. So why don't you bend your legs, try to grab onto your legs. For some of you, this is enough, just engaging those abdominal muscles to lift the legs off the floor and balance here can be its own challenge, okay? If you're feeling okay here, just try rolling back and forth. Back and forth, really trying to round the spine as you go back, okay? Try not to hit any bumps in the lower back as you go down. And by bumps, I mean flat spots because maybe you're arched normally, okay? Let's try one more time. Maybe trying to straighten out the legs a little bit as you go back and come forward. And can you challenge yourself to straighten out at the end? Okay, that one is tricky. All right, from here, we have another exercise which is called corkscrew. The way that works is you're meant to lift up into a shoulder stand and twist your legs around. I've been doing Pilates for many years. I still find that challenging. It's also dangerous if you're new to this. So let's once again lift our legs up and just do 10 of those little lifts, okay? Really try to point those toes to the ceiling. I think that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one more for good measure. All right. We're gonna come up to saw. Saw is a delicious exercise. After all this work, you can spread your legs wider than your mat if you're comfortable. Again, same thing. If you can't sit up straight, please feel free to grab something like a yoga block or even folding a yoga mat underneath, just to give you that little bit of extra so you can sit straight up out of your hips. You're going to take your arms out to the side, and it's called saw because the motion is like you're sawing off your baby toe, okay? On one side and then the other. So we take the motion of the spine stretch forward and we add a twist, okay? So let's sit up, let's round into that spine stretch, and then let's take opposite hand to foot, reach if you can. Ideally, you're looking back at the back hand, okay? And we come around to the other side. I like to do 2 or 3 saws, really just to enjoy the twist, okay? 1, 2, 3. So shoulders should be away from ears here with your arms outstretched, looking back, fully rotating the spine. Let's do one more time here. Really trying to round and twist and reach. Round, twist, and reach. Okay. I'm going to have to set my mat up a little bit differently. We're going to come down to lying on our stomachs next. Okay, the next exercise we have here is called swan. It sounds graceful and lovely. Maybe if it's done by an expert, it's a little awkward and uncomfortable. The way it's meant to be done is it's a nice back extension, so you can see that after all that rounding is good. The arms are out, the legs are up, and you're rocking back and forth. And I don't know, maybe your idea of a good time is crushing your pubic bone into a mat, but not mine. I don't like it. I like swan on the reformer. It's a little bit more comfortable. But what can we get from this exercise for people with different abilities who are just starting with Pilates? Well, here I am in Sphinx pose, okay? That is a great way to get some nice extension. So let's set up for that by putting our hands in front of our foreheads and then slowly bringing the elbows back and really arching the back up, okay? So we're extending through the upper back. It's a nice stretch for the belly and for the chest. So really keep the elbows wide so then the shoulders are wide. Don't look up at the ceiling. Try to keep the head naturally at the top of the spine. And breathe. You can take a break and come down. If you want more of an extension, you can put your hands just underneath your armpits, and you can do a little bit more of an extension here. In yoga, we have a lot of movement like this, and it's very nice. A nice stretch and a nice counter pose to some of the forward bends. Okay. From here, we have some kicking, which is a way to activate the glutes and the hamstrings. So let's come back into that similar stance with the arms. So the elbows are here and the hands are folded one on top of one another. And you're going to lift your right leg up. So see, my knee is not on the mat anymore. So just by doing that, I have to consciously press my pubic bone into the mat to avoid rounding, right? Like I don't want to round the lower back. I'm tucking the pelvis, I'm lifting the knee up, and I'm kicking myself. And then I'm going to do it on the other side. Kicking. You're trying to kick yourself in the butt. It's called one leg kick. It's not called butt kick. But basically, if you do this properly, you are getting a nice stretch in the quad. You're activating the hamstrings and the glute. So we'll just do it one more time per side. And there we go. Okay. And now we combine essentially those previous two exercises to do the double leg kick. So hands come behind the back, okay? You can hold on to your elbows if you find this uncomfortable, okay? But otherwise what we're doing is we're bending our arms with hands interlaced, fingers interlaced, and we're bending our legs, okay? So you start off with your head turned to one side and exhale. Inhale, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, and then exhale, bend, turn the face to the other way. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So we've got some rotation here. We have some extension here. Again, continue to press the pubic bone into the mat to avoid rounding the lower back too much. And I think that's the last time here. All right. I'm going to push up into a child's pose as a counterbalance to some of that back extension. Now I'm going to stay in the same configuration so that you can see me from the side for the next couple of exercises, which are, I have no idea what that says. Oh yeah, neck pull, scissors, bike, bridge. Okay, now we're going to come to sitting again for 4 more exercises. This first one is called neck pull, which is just a very bad name because the last thing you want to do is pull your neck. You're going to place your hands behind your head at the base of your skull, okay? And you want to go straight back until you can't lean back anymore. You're going to feel your psoas starting to shake here, and then rounding down. Well, we have to come back up now. So really activate those legs, anchor them in the ground as you come up, rounding up, sitting up tall. And we can stretch forward a little bit to counteract that. Let's go down again. So you see my back is straight, straight, straight. This is like flat back on the reformer on the box. And then at the last minute, rounding down. Exhaling as I come forward. It's really hard with this added weight to come forward with the hands behind the head and also not pull on the head. The hands are just anchored here. So let's try it like this, okay? Let's go flat back as far as we can, and then rounding down, and then lifting back up, okay? Even if that's too hard, you can have hands on your legs. Flat back, flat back, flat back, and then rounding, and then coming back up, and reach for the feet. Nice counter stretch. The next 2 exercises are meant to be done on the shoulder girdle, so in like a shoulder stand position. That can be challenging. Let's get the benefit of those exercises just from lying on our backs here. The first exercise is called scissors. So you're just splitting the legs, okay? One leg comes up, one leg comes down. We can get a lot of benefit from this. Straight legs up in the air. It's stretching the hamstrings. See how far apart you could separate the legs. Both legs are reaching out of the hip socket. Strong, long legs. Okay, try to keep your lower back pressed into the mat. We'll go one more time per per side. Yep, that can be a workout even if you're not up in shoulder stand. The next exercise, you would be in the same position. It's bicycle, okay? But we're gonna do it here, lying on our backs, and just pedaling as if you were on a bicycle. Not so difficult. Make sure each time you bend the leg, you bend as much as you can, and then it extends out as much as possible. Try to keep the hips glued to the mat. Now what about going backwards? Now that's where we use our concentration, the mind controlling the body aspect of Pilates that is so very beneficial. Pedaling backwards without an actual bike is a bit of a brain teaser. Okay, very nice. All right, the last exercise here is going to be a glute bridge. So we all know this one. You're going to pick your tailbone up, then your lower back up. You're going to come up into a bridge. And as much as possible, you want to be one long line from shoulders to knees. Stretch away, those knees stretching away in the opposite direction from the head. You can hold it here, or you can do like the classical exercise where you lift up one leg, point and flex the foot as you raise it and lower it. One more time, raise it and lower it, coming back to the starting position. Taking the other leg out, point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Hold it here for another count of 10, squeezing the glutes, trying to lift the hips as high as possible. 4, 3, 2, 1. Articulate down. Windshield wiper the legs, just to erase that movement and tension. Good. We're sitting up again for the next 3 exercises. This one is called spine twist. So once again, definitely sit on something. If you cannot sit straight up out of your hips when your legs are straight in front of you. For this one, it's similar to spine stretch forward, but you'll see that my legs are together. So that makes it really difficult. The pelvis is locked and it's only the spine from about the navel up that twists, okay? It's supposed to look like this. Try this and you'll find there's not a lot of movement there. So some things you can do. You could do it cross-legged, or you could do it sitting on your feet, okay? That'll give you a little bit more ability to twist and might also relieve some of the pressure on your hamstrings, okay? What I like to do is have both arms straight out and then just twist one around. So inhale, exhale, follow your hand as it goes behind you, coming back. Exhale, inhale back to center. Exhale, follow your hand. So head, neck, and spine are twisting, rotating around. Try to sit up tall. Flow is another important principle of Pilates, so make sure you are flowing in this exercise. Don't be rigid. One more time per side. Sitting up tall, rotate, back to center, rotate, back to center. Okay. From here, we are doing the Sidekick series. The original exercise, once again, is very tricky. So you are straight out and then move your legs forward about 2 feet. Okay, so your legs are at the front corner of your mat. The original exercise is to kick forward as much as you can and back. Kick forward and back without falling over, okay? A lot of people find that very difficult. So what I would say is try to keep your hips level. There's a little bit of a space here. You can use your kickstand hand to support you while you just draw the leg forward, okay? And you feel yourself start to fall forward. Resist it, tighten the abdominal muscles, and then draw the leg back. forward and back, forward and back. And while you're here, why not lift the leg, the front of the foot, parallel and facing forward. Let's just do 10 leg lifts here, okay? We're already in this position. This is a good way to activate the medial glute. You're also actually strengthening the muscles around the knee in lifting the leg laterally like this. I think that is 10. Let's do the other side. So from here you can see I'm in the center of my mat, and then I move the legs forward. There's a space here. The original exercise is forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. So you can make those movements small. Try to keep hips level. And while we're here, let's just do 10 leg lifts, keeping hips level, not collapsing in the side waist. Lengthening, stretching that leg away. Try to make the top leg grow longer as it comes down. Reaching away. No crunching in the neck. Relaxed up here. That must be 10. Okay. From here, we're going to come into the teaser. There's so many variations of this. I love doing it on the reformer. It's a beautiful exercise. The original looks like this. It's pretty hard. So some modifications could be, let's start off with our legs in tabletop, okay? And then you can put your hands up and using those same muscles you used, both in the 100, the roll up and rolling like a ball, can you bring yourself forward? Try that. So legs in tabletop, hands can come above the head, and then some momentum here, come forward. When you get better at that, you can try to straighten the legs in the final position, sitting upright, coming forward, straightening, hold it here. Good. So let's try 3 of these. Whatever variation you want to try. And back down. It's hard to keep the legs straight the whole time. That's a good one. Okay, we flip over onto our stomachs again for the next 2 exercises. So this one is swimming. Everybody has done some variation of this in an exercise class before. So arms and legs come out like a star and keeping the chin tucked. So that's going to keep your neck aligned with your spine. We are kicking arms and legs, alternating opposite arm with opposite leg, and breathing, pressing the pubic bone into the mat to protect the lower back, reaching away with those legs, kicking them with precision. That's another Pilates principle. No flopping around. Be precise in your movements. Feel the energy coming from your core. 1 more second and stop. Okay? All right. So then we have leg pull. There's a front and a back version here. So does this look familiar? It's plank, right? So you can hold plank here, or if you want to try the original classical exercise, you lifted a leg and placed it back down. Lifted a leg and placed it back down. So it's very tricky. You want to squeeze your glutes. The leg lift comes from the glute. It's not coming from the back. Okay, so let's try right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg. Okay, child's pose. We then flip over to the opposite the opposite position. So now we're doing like a backwards plank. So the original exercise requires the hands to point out. That's probably the most comfortable version. You can try the hands pointed in. You could have the fingers pointing away from your body. That's also quite comfortable. Try hands at right angles to the mat, okay? So we want to open through the chest, chin is tucked, lifting up, okay? This is a nice integrated exercise that uses all the body's muscles together, like plank does. And lifting the legs, just like we did in the front version, is also an option. And then down we go. Good. Okay. From here, we do another version of Sidekick. I'm going to put my mat this way again. So for this version of Sidekick, it's actually very interesting. You're going to start on your knees and tip over, and the leg comes extended. So it's the exact same movement that we had for Sidekick when we're lying down. The leg comes forward and back. You'll see my leg does not move as much because my pelvis is locked into this position with the leg here. So not a lot of movement. Give it a try. Don't be frustrated. With practice, all is coming. Maybe while we're here, let's do some leg circles. Let's do 5 in one direction because we're already here. Why not? 5 in the other direction. Ooh, there we go. Let's come over to the other side. So kneeling tall, tipping over. Okay, leg comes forward and back. And you'll find that it's easier on one side than the other, depending on your hip rotators, glute muscles, hamstrings, all kinds of stuff. All right, and then might as well do our leg circles again. Ooh, second side, always harder. And then in the opposite direction. Okay, very good. From here, we do a nice stretch exercise, which is called side bend, also is often referred to as mermaid, and it's side plank. So the way you set up for it is your hand is away from your shoulder, and then your legs are bent at right angles. Okay, so the top foot comes in front, and you're just extending out, and up you come. Arm can come overhead. It's a nice stretch, but this requires a lot of integration and muscle work. So a nice modification is to straighten out the top leg and just keep the knee there. A lot of clients, when they're just learning to do side plank, I get them to do this. And then when you feel ready, oh, look, the other leg comes up, okay? You gotta make room for progression. Let's come around to the other side. So hand is in front of the shoulder. Legs are bent at right angles. Top foot comes in front of the bottom foot, and up we go. Breathing here. Nice side bend in the top ribs and the top waist. If that's a challenge, keep this knee on the ground, extending the top leg, and up you come. And when you feel comfortable, oh, you can just sneak that leg up there. And holding here and breathing. Coming back down. We're into the home stretch. We have a couple of weird exercises coming up. So I'm leaving out the trickier ones. There's a crab one that makes you almost do a somersault, so we're not going to do that here, but we'll try seal, okay? So for seal, you're gonna take your arms and you're gonna thread them through your legs, okay? And then you're supposed to pop up like rolling like a ball and grab your ankles, okay? That's the idea. If that proves to be too difficult, feel free to just grab your legs like we did, okay? So you can just grab your legs here. Your knees can be open, and you'll find it'll make it easier for you to round your back and roll down. I'm gonna try the classical exercise here. So you roll back, and you inhale to come forward, and you go clap, clap. I don't know, like a seal. Clap, clap, or arf, arf, as you wish. This is how it would look with the hands not underneath the legs. The objective is to stay in a tight little ball to activate your muscles. And of course, you don't roll back more than here. All right, we now have the rocking. And if you didn't love swan, you're not gonna love the rocking, because basically we come down onto our bellies again. We reach around and grab our ankles. We pop up and we rock. Ooh, pubic bone pain. Not fun. However, this is a useful exercise. We're getting some back extension, we're getting chest opening. If you find it too difficult to reach around and grab both of your ankles or toes, okay, try one. Put your arm, your forearm down in front of you. Grab one of your ankles with the same side hand, okay? And try to pull. Straighten that leg. You'll get a nice stretch in the chest. You'll get a nice back extension. Look forward and breathe. Try to press the pubic bone into the mat. That will help keep your pelvis neutral, okay? And then you can try the other side. If you can't reach your ankle, you can grab the toes. Just don't bend a toe. Look forward. Breathe. Okay. I want to press into child's pose for a nice counter stretch here. And then we're going to stand up for the final exercise. We're at the final exercise here of the classical mat Pilates exercises from the 1940s. Push up. You're going to stand up nice and tall. Raise the arms. Bend over and walk 1, 2, 3, 4 steps forward with your hands and do a push-up. Inhale, come back up, walk those hands 1, 2, 3, 4, and up you come. Let's do 2 more of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk the hands back. Come back to the starting position. Arms up and down. Walking forward. Congratulations, you made it.